Greetings. I'm Suzanne Tidkevire from No Longer Quivering, and I've decided today we absolutely must talk about recovery. I've been thinking about it a lot lately because of my friend. Oh shoot, I can't think straight today. My friend Katie Joy over at what's the name of her live stream? Without a crystal ball, like it used to be of her blog. Anyway, Katie has been talking to Derek Duggar, who's been talking about him in jail and their recovery journey. And we all know how hard that is, all of us that have been through it. And then today, something happened that just made it even more crazy and more likely to be talked about. Today, I want to talk about triggers. And triggers are not just something for Doug Wilson to make fun of in his little goofy little way. Triggers are real and they can happen. And I bet they're happening to a lot of us right now because we're not having much success and staying calm, are we, in the middle of this COVID stuff? I've seen people lose their mind over guns. I've seen people that are losing their mind over all kinds of crazy things right now. And then I got triggered today, even though I thought I was way recovered and past triggering. So I need to talk about that. Triggers, like I said, I think for recovery, that's one of the hardest things to get over is triggers. At least it was for me. Why? Because they were so random. I mean, you think, well, I'm not being around those people anymore from my old church. I'm going to be fine. And there you are pushing your cart at the Mennonite store like I was. Then all of a sudden, I'm thrown up in the bushes. Why? Because I'm in the Mennonite store buying groceries, and all of a sudden I hear, come, now is the time to worship. All it took for me 4 years ago was hearing that stupid worship song that I must have sung 10 trillion times on the platform, okay? And now I can't even listen to it. When I listen to it, I get sick to my stomach, but not like that one time at the store. So that's one thing about triggers. Now, like I said, they're surprising. They pop up on you when you least expect them. When you think you're over it, you're not over it. And they're really like a good signpost to what's going on as far as where you are in your journey as well. Give me a second. I'm having asthma today, so I'm actually having trouble breathing and talking at the same time of all crazy things. And as you can see, I'm just so put together. I love Katie. I love Katie Joy. She's so put together, so beautiful, so elegant. Her room is so perfect. And here I am, giant hole in my blouse, wearing something that's 95 years old with strings hanging off of it. My hair is just like thrown up, no makeup, no nothing. This is unvarnished me, Suzanne Tidkevire of No Longer Quivering, whether you like it or not. This is just the way I am. Back to the triggering. So the thing about triggers is what you have to do to break a trigger, you have to intentionally plan for it. You got to have a trigger plan. I know that sounds stupid, but when I was thrown up in the bushes, I did not have a trigger plan. I've since put together one, and basically what you have to do is you have to stop, tell that trigger that it is a lie from the pit of hell or the pit of wherever, whatever you're thinking, and you just break it down and say, no, this is not how it is. This is not true. This does not define me. This is not who I am. This has zero power over me. If you can start doing that consistently every time one of those triggers happens, or you get one of those awful thoughts, you're all the better for it. The other thing with triggers is sometimes you're going to be triggered, like I was today, by somebody else. One of my best friends, who I've had for almost 30 years, a girlfriend of mine named Joan, contacted me today, and I've been kind of on pins and needles, being afraid she was going to contact me because she's left our old church, but she's not left all the crazy all the time. She sometimes will come up with that stuff. And I know she is so into eschatology, it's ridiculous. And I knew at some point she was going to PM me and say, hey, end times, Jesus! I can't wait, Jesus is coming! Oh my gosh! And it happened this morning. Yeah, it was not a pretty sight. At first, it was nice. We were talking about her new baby grandson who was born in Hong Kong a couple days ago. That was nice. I was telling her about my various adult children and all their goofy things they're doing. One's moving not internationally, one's moving across country. Another one works for an organization that's highly highly involved with this whole infectious disease thing, and the other one's looking for a job. So I told her all about that, and we're catching up, and all of a sudden it gets to, well, I can't wait because this is end times and Jesus is coming back, and we have to talk to everybody about Jesus right now. And then she's carrying on a lot about this, and the more she's carrying on, since I'm having crazy asthma, the more I'm reacting and wheezing and crazy, not able to get a breath. And so I just told her, I said, you're pushing my boundaries. I cannot talk about this right now. Just like, but why? But why? I'm like, because number one, we're in a pandemic. I'm worried. You should be worried if you had half the brains God gave that mule or that donkey that was talking. And I just don't want to talk about it right now. I've never gone into eschatology. I don't believe in borrowing trouble by saying, oh, Jesus is coming back tomorrow. It actually says in the Bible that nobody knows the date or the time. And it may say that you can read the signs, but it doesn't mean jump around and tell everybody else and screech and carry on. And I mean, how many times have we seen this? I remember living through this with her when, what was the name of that? When Y2K happened. She was the one with the 10 cases of toilet paper and the huge electrical generator and the pink pistol and all of her Jim Baker food. So she's really always been into that. So I just told her, I said, you're pushing my boundaries. I can't take this kind of conversation right now. She kept after it, kept triggering me. So finally I just said, I'm sorry, I cannot talk to you. I'll talk to you later when you can talk about this without going there with it. And I muted her. I love her dearly. But at this time, with my asthma, the last thing I need is somebody ramping up my anxiety levels. That's the very last thing any of us need. And that's one thing about triggers and other people. You have to stand your ground, you have to defend your boundary, and you have to turn that trigger off. And that's pretty much what I did today. And I hope that you develop the ability to do that. I hope you're doing that better than I am. I hope you're way better at it because I certainly need help. And that's my ranting for today about recovery. And I think I'm gonna do a whole series about this because I'm very interested in the Jill Duggar Dillard and Derek Dillard deconversion from Fundy Town. It's a horrible, hard journey. It takes a lot of intentionality. It takes a lot of having to completely change your entire mindset and everything you think about everything. It's difficult. It hurts. You're going to cry a lot of tears. But guess what? When you come out the other end, you're going to be all the better for it. You'll be happy or happier. And seems to me that the ones that are the most stuck in the cults are the most unhappy, miserable people on earth. Just look at Lori Alexander. There is no joy there. There's no happiness. There's no loving kindness. She doesn't have any of that. Poor thing. Okay, I'm going to go lay back down again because I've ranted. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful afternoon, evening, or at least one that's not triggered or freaking out over this coronavirus thing. I should be freaking out. We actually do have a coronavirus person here in Tamarindo, just down the road in a place called Playa Longosa, Lobster Beach. Lobster Beach has also the COVID now. Oh well. I'll see you guys later. Bye.